Astrology's influence on financial markets. Crashes, all-time highs, bull markets. This is part 3 to this series. This is looking at the Saturn-Neptune cycle. On part 2's video, one of my beautiful subscribers left a comment that triggered me to think about the larger cycles at play in astrology, to see if that was this missing piece that I was missing looking at all of this information. So that's what we're doing today. We're looking at Saturn-Neptune cycle, how it influences financial markets, not just crypto, because crypto, well, it's relatively young. So we're looking at financial markets because looking at the history of these crashes and all-time highs, we can see a pattern, and this will help us to forecast what is next to come, especially since we're starting a new Neptune and Saturn cycle. Neptune and Saturn will be an exact conjunction in 2026, but when Saturn moves into the sign of Aries on May 24th, I have a video about that, link is in the description below. This will be the initiation starting this cycle. So what does this cycle look like? The last time Saturn and Neptune were conjunct in the sign of Aries, I must preface and say that I did get a lot of information asking ChatGPT. I had to verify a lot of things to make sure it was telling me the correct information, but I did a lot of information about history from ChatGPT, in case you're interested. So the theme of Saturn-Neptune conjunction in the sign of Aries is government restructuring, new governments, economic resets, changing of the political framework, and new financing systems. And we'll circle back to this when we get to our current coming up of the conjunction. I'm looking at the financial markets, financial bull runs, market crashes. There was a pattern when Saturn and Neptune were conjunct. The economy and the finances were going through a period of recovery or a period of expansion. Then when Neptune and Saturn had their first aspect to each other, which was square, from 1882 to 1953, that first transit was usually a market bull run or all-time high, followed by crashes. I'll leave the links below to all these slides so you can read the information that I have here. A lot of industrial themes within these conjunctions as well, but then this was followed by market crashes. And that was when Saturn-Neptune conjunct in Taurus, and then in Leo, and then in Libra. After that, there was a change in the trend. When Saturn and Neptune were conjunct in the sign of Capricorn, this started in 1989, the market crashed. I do not have any historical references to refer back to because there was no stock market or financial markets like we have today, so I don't know why that the trend changed. In 1989, there was a crash when Saturn and Neptune were conjunct. In 1988, when they were in a square, it was strong, expansionary, marked by significant volatility, global economic instability, and there's record highs also by record lows. Now, from 1989 through 2025, where we're at right now, there were multiple market crashes and market runs. This could be due to Saturn starting this conjunction with Neptune in its home sign. The quickening effect comes to my mind, where things are rapidly approaching the end of a larger cycle to begin a new cycle. The quickening, the governments slowly unraveling to the point where we need to have new governments and financial systems. That could be a reason as to why from 1989 onward we had multiple runs and crashes. But overall, Saturn-Neptune conjunctions in their signs, in these larger cycles, do seem to be the signal or predictive tool to use to understand when will there be a crash, when will there be an all-time high. So my question is this: if Saturn and Neptune do signal when there's market crashes and all-time highs, Is it transit specific? Meaning, if there's a square, does that automatically mean it's an all-time high? If it's a trine, does it automatically mean a low or all-time high? The answer seems to be no. What I have found is the only definite out of all my information is that when Saturn and Neptune are in an aspect to each other with a trine, sextile, square, opposition, even conjunction, that is the signal that there is going to be some sort of market, either crash or market bull run coming up. Now, this could be when they're exactly in their aspect to each other, or they could be a few degrees apart coming into their exact transit. They don't have to be exactly at 0 degrees of a square or an opposition, but it could be the signal that there is coming up a market crash or an all-time high within this period. Now, there's also other factors that go along with that, with where Mars is, where other planets are, but these seem to be the two to look at to find out if and when there will be these corrections and these bull markets. When I have been going through all this information, I have found that I have been finding more questions as I uncover more information. Looking at the next one, February 20th, 2026, Neptune conjunct Aries at 0 degrees. This could be a period of financial revolution, economic restructuring, changes, big changes I foresee on the way. Political governments could all be in this period of a reset, restructuring, perhaps even a new financial system occurring. Now, we do have crypto right now, and that could be part of the financial system, but I feel that it's going to be different than anybody is anticipating. Why? Because Neptune's involvement, because Neptune does things differently, does things very unexpectedly, meaning, okay, yeah, we have Bitcoin. Some governments have taken Bitcoin back to their national currency with Bitcoin or other crypto coins. XRP has their system where governments can make their own currency using the XRP ledger. This highly has a possibility of it being this way, using XRP ledger or even a different current crypto system. I just think it's going to be in a different way than we know crypto to be right now. Crypto is decentralized. It's supposed to be decentralized, and it's supposed to be, a way of using, paying for things, buying things, trading things, bypassing governments. Crypto could be more centralized, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Decentralization could be dissolving, could be transforming into something else. This financial and economic restructuring, crypto, maybe not even crypto is the right word to say. It could even be a different word. It could be e-finance, or I don't know, but I feel that the way we look at crypto right now, that is going to be different. Financing with digital money. I could see that being the way our monetary finances is going. Or it could be a completely different way than anyone can predict because of Neptune's unpredictability. Back in 1863, when the greenbacks and paper money came into play, I'm going to assume that a lot of people had no idea what paper money was. They were used to using gold and silver. It's less than a year away, but a lot of things could happen within this time period. Jupiter and Uranus are also changing signs. Big revolutionary changes, innovative changes, all these big word changes on the way. And we could be looking back at this time and it could be a completely different era of time. And government and finances could be completely different or undergoing a huge change. In September 16th, 2033 is when the Neptune-Saturn square occurs in the sign of Aries. This could be a bull market. This is quite a few years away. Actually, it's less than 10 years away. This could be when we have a stronger bull market, when the markets are getting settled into their new groove from being restructured, from being remade again. There is still a lot of questions I do have. Leave a comment below if you see anything or have any ideas about anything, because your comments do help me to think of all this information from a different perspective. And then I will go research that and see, and maybe we can uncover further astrological information and influences that do shape crashes and bull markets. If you like this information, I do personal astrology readings as well as trading astrology readings. Link is below for a free 15-minute consultation where we can discuss what you're looking for in a reading. I also have a Patreon where I write a report every month for the crypto market using astrology, and I have a private Discord where you can join when you become a member, and we can discuss all this wonderful, beautiful information together. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and share.